Again, my name is Catherine Jackson. I am a fifth year graduating senior. My major is animal sciences with a specialization in industries, and I have 2 minors in econ science and leadership. So I've been here at Ohio State for 5 years, since 2010, and in my undergraduate career, I've had the opportunity to do 2 different, complete different research projects, and I've completed 2 in my lifetime. So that was something that I did not plan on doing at all. Like, when people say we're gonna do research, I completely was terrified. I was scared. I was like, no, research means heavy chemistry. I hate chemistry. Chemistry department here does not like me. I do not chemistry. I'm not doing it. And that's exactly like the process that I thought. But the reason why I had to do research, because it's part of my requirement for my degree. You have to do a internship. And so the first internship I had was a research internship. And I was like, oh, they're trying to get me with this research in here still, because I need an internship, but research. So the first opportunity I had was through the econ program, which is another organization that I'm very adamantly about and very involved in. And the reason why I chose to do the econ program is because I love horses. So if you are interested in doing research, I suggest you do something that you're in love with. So what are some of your guys' majors, fields? Please raise your hands and tell me, shout it out. What are you interested in? Yes, ma'am.
Food engineering.
Okay, so like, what would you want to do with that?
I would like to study how your diet impacts your genetic structure and your makeup, and how that may improve your lifestyle as you age, or it may change what diseases your children may have.
Oh, awesome. So you could do the research that ties that into, a study. And I'm sure that if you do that, you wouldn't look at it as something that's tedious, because research is not tedious. It is tedious. It's not a 9-to-5 job. I can tell you that my first project, I spent more than 60 hours a week just in the lab studying. But on the flip side of that, most of my time I was out in the field, which is where I had the most fun, because I was out with my horses. I can tell you the first night, I had to spend 9 hours out in the field in the middle of a thunderstorm to wait for poop. My horse to poop and get some milk. And you're like, 9 hours? Like, yes, 9 hours in the shed with the rest of the horses, waiting for our horse to poop, and I could get milk. And like, it was so exciting. It's awesome, because I love horses, so I didn't look at it as work. I'm like, oh, I'm getting to spend time at my horses playing with them, working on, like, at the same time I was breaking our foals and working on our yearlings and whatnot. So that was the first project that I had, and it was looking at the gastrointestines, looking at yeast supplements and the gastrointestines of our quarter horse mares, because that's the kind of horses that the Ohio State use. The second research project was through ORDC, which is in Worcester, which is also another campus of our CFAES, which is the College of Food, Agriculture, and Environmental Sciences. And with that research, I was making viruses and vaccinations. I was working on H1N1, which is pandemic, and seasonal, like, flu, avian flu. But I was feeding cells. I've never worked with making cells, taking cells and creating cells and keeping them alive. So I was working with kidney cells from dogs. We were using blood from a turkey and looking at viruses from swine that, was mutated from avian that had something to do with horses. And I thought it was really fun, because I had to look up this information. I had to do it by myself. Like, I didn't have a protocol, or it's just like, this is what you need. These are your samples that you looked at. You have to do it by yourself. Whereas the first research project, I had somebody helping me, holding my hand, like, okay, this is the first step. This is the second step that you do. Then you do this. The second project, I was on my own. It's like, here you go. I had to keep a manual, like, and by the time I was done with my manual, I went through 2 different manuals just because I was taking so many notes. And it's one thing to, like, look back and say, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe I did that. Like, I was working on cells, and I know how to make viruses and vaccinations. Like, who does that? Like, who makes viruses and vaccinations in their lifetime? Who said, today I want to learn how to inject somebody with some type of virus and then be able to save their life, because I'm going to make a vaccination to save their life. And that's exactly what happened. And these are opportunities that I never thought that I would, like, ever do. And so I have some pictures, because I think pictures speak 1,000 words. So this is the project I was in Worcester. And after we were done, like, with making the cells and inoculating our chickens, we had to clean up the isolators. It was nasty. Lots of poop and pee and feed matter, and it smelled because we had to spray it down and just like let it desensitize and let it sit for like a week. And so it smelled horrible. So I had to like put on this whole suit that we picked over, like, cause I wasn't gonna keep that. Had to put on boots and then like put like your smoking boots over, like your little the plastic wrappers that you put over your boots. Had to put on that, had to put on a mask, had to put on, it was just horrible. And I had these are like under these gloves, I had like the regular like throwaway disposable gloves, and then I had straight, it was horrible. And I had like the mask that I had on was like a filter, so I could, but it was horrible. It was the worst smell ever. And then here are pictures of me presenting both of my research projects at my undergraduate research forum, which is through my college. I also presented my first project, which was that picture over there, at the Denman, which is the whole university project. And I also took it at my national level of my student organization manners, and I placed 3rd out of 30 and received money for that. I didn't imagine doing that, but I did, and it was amazing. It's exciting, and to look back and say, hey, like, these are my accomplishments. I've worked hard in my 5 years, and a lot of people are like, well, dang, 5 years, what you was doing this when you were done? No, I was putting in work, and this is the results of that. But that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about.